EA already had this franchise, Army of Two, and we wanted to do a co-op game, and we were also doing co-op with Dead Space, and it's something that we sort of want to move into. And it was presented as an opportunity. You guys want to pick up this franchise? And I think that it was evaluated, and yeah, like we played the games. We felt like there is good stuff here.
After Army of Two, the 40th day, the team here has been working basically as part of the Visceral studio, and this team is a brand new team.
So I was working on Dead Space, and my boss sort of presented me with the opportunity to move to Montreal for a short time and basically work on Army of Two Devil's Cartel until it was done. I convinced my wife, and that was it, and we moved up here. We do have people working on this game that worked on the original two Army games, but the vast majority of the team is new. It's a team that we built for this game.
We have people working on this game in at least 3 countries in terms of big groups of people. Montreal being the core team, there's absolutely scenarios where we're doing VidCon reviews of the game with people in Sweden and people in California and people in China.
It goes 2 ways. You want your baby to grow. You want Visceral to get bigger and bigger, which means you have to involve more and more people, which means you have to trust more and more people, and you have to let go a little bit and know that the people that you're bringing in are going to, live up to that level of quality.
Quite a big portion of this team have actually worked on other Visceral games as well. So this is a new experience for Army underneath the Visceral label.
We sort of do exchanges all the time of employees where we'll send people from here to California so that they can sort of see how we work there, and we send people from California here so that they can sort of see how we work here. We take the Visceral thing very seriously. We're trying to make a legacy for ourselves, and so when we're picking up a new franchise and I'm being tapped on the shoulder as the guy to go wave the Visceral banner and make sure that we get that attention to detail and that immersion that Visceral games are known for, it's a lot of pressure. As far as the studio here, it's been nothing but welcoming.
So yeah, we really have the expertise in-house and the approach, and then obviously there's we feel all the Visceral love from California.
The general manager of the whole studio, who's also an executive producer himself, who looks at making sure Dead Space is awesome every day of the week, is making sure that Army is awesome every day of the week.
It's a pretty tight relationship. I get builds when I need to see them, and I'm traveling probably once or twice a month up there and getting to see what's going on the floor and visiting both of the teams that are there.
The first 2 Army games were good games, but they weren't great games. Those 2 games certainly had more lighthearted moments. You'll be in the middle of a big gunfight and you can sort of high-five your buddy and make some sort of smart-ass remark, which is fine, and there's certainly an audience that wants that. That isn't necessarily what Visceral, what we sort of do. We try to take it a little more serious. We're not completely rebooting it, we certainly want the original Army fans to play this game, and I think that they'll really like what we're doing with the franchise.
Working from the controller out and really focusing on narrative, those are things that we want to make sure we nail with any Visceral game. And of course, with the Army of Two franchise, it's all about co-op. So making sure that we're nailing that, making sure co-op really comes through and is integral to the experience.
As a studio, Visceral, we're still pretty young. I don't think that we necessarily have a huge reputation in the industry, but I think that we're slowly sort of building up a reputation in the industry.
BioWare is definitely known for those immersive role-playing games, right? I think with Visceral, we're all about making, intense, visceral, immersive games. It doesn't matter if it's a third-person cover shooter like Army of Two or something like a Dead Space. What matters is that the story, the content, the game that we are creating resonates with people at a very base and visceral level. So we could be doing all kinds of games as long as we have that lens and that focus and that attention to detail and attention to making something that's quad A, then it's Visceral.
I think that you're always going to have people that they're going to be cynical and say, oh, Dead Space does well, so they're just going to take that Visceral logo and slap it on this other game and hope that does well. And it's fine if people want to think that. In the end, we're going to put out the game and they can play it and they can judge for themselves. And I'm confident that when this game comes out, they're going to see the difference. They're going to feel like, oh, Visceral really sort of raised the bar for this franchise.